Hi, everybody. This is Sam of Swaye Ventures Incorporated. Swaye is an investment company focused on emerging markets, especially within sub-Saharan Africa, as well as doing, we have an arm which also does strategic advisory, as well as essential commodities trading. However, our focus on sub-Saharan Africa, and especially Ethiopia, currently is with regards to seeking out investment opportunities which would absorb risk capital from the outside and provide attractive returns to any foreign and local investors. I'm very happy to be here with, I think it's Connecting or Connect the Day Ethiopia, which has kindly invited me to share my thoughts on the investment opportunities and the activities that my firm is currently conducting in Ethiopia. I guess I will go across the different investment opportunities that exist, first starting by what we are actively involved in. So we are in the process of really trying to nurture the startup and digital ecosystem in Ethiopia. It is, if you look at the macro picture in Ethiopia, it's extremely attractive and is becoming more and more attractive with regards to metrics which show the ability to both scale over time and become profitable. So Ethiopia, with 110, 15 plus million people, is the second most populous country in Africa. Furthermore, as it's been witnessed over the years, its annual growth rate has been in double digits, if not high single digits, in the last 10, 15 years. We're also starting, and the population, a very interesting demographic, where we have over 30% of the population, 40%, my apologies, not 30 or 40, actually 70% of the population is below 30 years old. So a young workforce, which is up and coming. We have over 200,000 technical graduates annually, and close to 1 million plus people ready for employment every year. You know, exciting times. The next interesting aspects within the landscape, at least the political and economic landscape, is the efforts to liberalize the telecom sector, where Ethiopia is currently issued the possibility of acquiring 2 licenses. One has just been acquired by consortium. First time that telco operators outside of the one owned by the national government is coming into the country. Second license is up for sale, and there's the semi-privatization of Ethiopian telecom itself, which is currently nationally owned. So a lot of liberalization and privatization efforts, laws and regulations to make it easier for businesses to start, digitization efforts across the board. So, you know, we currently have significant FDI, the development finance institutions, and other international organizations. So having sort of given the overall picture, I'm sure others have given you some insight also. I would like to talk about our specific efforts. We are currently in the process of putting together the Entrepreneurship Fund, which is a fund which would $60 million fund, blended finance fund, which would also take into account technical assistance through grant facilities in order to de-risk the risk capital of investors. This was through the initial initiative of the Jobs Creation Commission and the Ethiopian government, even though it's a privately led fund, which would be run in terms of really what we want to do is bridge that gap between startups where we have an influx of free capital coming from numerous organizations and foundations. The problem is once they go through that initial stage of incubation and acceleration, they fall off the cliff. And funds like the Entrepreneurship Fund, what they would like to do is really bridge that gap for these startups, whether it's digital innovative startups, is bridge that gap where there's no more that grant facility or that acceleration, by both providing risk capital, but also technical assistance. What we want to do at this stage is really the practical scaling up of these ventures, inject appropriate capital, which they're accountable for, and also show outside investors that there is a profitable venture to be part of. So the idea really is that the value creation for these ventures, once they're post their natal stage and post early incubation acceleration stage, in terms of bringing them up the value creation ladder, so that they become interesting opportunities for larger ticket sized investors, whether it's the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million investors. So that's really our focus. We've seen, we've been able to do a study of over 200 plus startups. I don't think anybody has gone into this detail as us in the country in terms of looking at the ecosystem, their needs, the stage at which they're at, and what type of both financial and non-financial assistance they need to get to the next step. And really, we're able to judge the maturity of the Ethiopian startup and digital markets also. So absolutely interesting opportunity. We're currently in the phase of actively raising capital, both from DFIs, private investors, both on the risk capital equity raising side, as well as the technical assistance side. And we're extremely happy to see the same factors of interest that we had considered would be essential for investment being realized by most of these potential investors. So that really is our key focus in terms of investments. where my firm is involved. Obviously, as the country is starting to liberalize, many more opportunities outside of our specific interest exist, whether it be in the natural resources, gold. We actually have a huge reserve of tantalite also, but multiple minerals. Infrastructure projects are also in play, and of course, as I said previously, you have the telecom sector also, which should bring about not just in terms of the license or the semi-privatization of the national operator, but secondary market opportunities in terms of valuations are still a little tight for outside investors. And agriculture, of course, key is a key sector for our country, and one of its key contributors to its GDP. So that in itself has a world of different activities and investment opportunities across the value chain, which can be seen. So overall, again, as I was saying, we are Swaye Ventures Incorporated with Lorondo Associates and a few other partners are putting our focus on startup and digital ecosystem, and really trying to nurture it so that there is interest from outside risk capital investors to come in and see that there's the opportunity for value creation, and obviously in the end a good return on investment. So I hope I was able to give you an interesting overview of the investment landscape or the opportunities that currently exist in Ethiopia, and will expand further as things develop and the liberalization of many sectors takes effect. So thank you for having me, and I would like to thank Connected Day Ethiopia for hosting this. Thank you.